Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome from me, Lettie, to our MCLU webinar for this morning. Can we just check that everybody can hear me clearly, please? Good. Great stuff. Right, just so that we know there's no fan noises in the background or anything like that. If there's any distortion, please let me know and I will clear that up. Okay, good. Sounds like we have liftoff with the sound, so that's great. If you have any issues with the sound or any connectivity issues during the webinar, please feel free to send through the comments. All right, we've got Jeremiah from SAAA who will be monitoring those comments. So let's get started so that we can, well, get finished. Right. I see we're still waiting for a couple of people to join us, but we definitely not going to wait for them to join. Are we going to start? Okay. Right. As you can see, we're doing the changes for October. So we're doing the MCLU for October this month. Those of you that have not seen me or attended some of my webinars, there's my background. Just a short little thing about who I am and where I've been and what I've done and what I currently do. My quote for today is pretty much a personal one for me as well. It's by Maya Angelou, and it says, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Very, very important. I think especially now when we are all nearing the end of the year, there's like 2-3 weeks left before everybody goes for Christmas shutdown. And it's just hectic. I know it's hectic now. Schools closing on the 15th, only reopening on the 29th of January. So we'll have our kids with us for another 6 weeks, like the lockdown wasn't enough. So thank you, Department of Education, for that one. But we'll be aiming to have the MCLU for next year by the last Wednesday of the month, or the second last Wednesday of the month, just before the 25th. All right. I think we have gotten some feedback from you guys that from the 25th, I know it's normally battle stations at your offices with month ends and VAT and all those kinds of things that have to be returned and lodged. So I'm going to try my best every month to schedule it before the 25th. All right. Just a comment from Yolandi. Please, can they go back? I see that September isn't loaded either. Okay. I'll follow up. We'll ask Jeremiah to follow up on that, and we can most definitely follow up and send those through. All right. So please make sure that you, from your side, if you don't have it, please send an email through to info@accountingacademy.co.za and just mark it for attention, Jeremiah. All right. Okay. I think if Siobhan, it depends on who you speak to. I think when it comes to the MCLU, you need to speak to Jeremiah. All right. So please just make sure that when you send an email, that you mark it for her attention and so that they can just forward it to her specifically. All right. Anything to do with the scheduling or anything with documents that are not found, because then Jeremiah will liaise with the presenters. I think if we streamline the admin section like that, it's going to be a lot easier for everybody in making sure that you guys also find what you need to every month. All right, so that's it in terms of the logistics for this month. As is for every month, let's have a look what's on the agenda. All right. Not too many items this month, but a couple of very interesting ones. On the accounting update side, 2 items. Auditing, we've got 3. Company secretarial, 3. The COVID-19 update, remember we said we're only going to really take the stuff that is important and practical in terms of guidance. So there's really only one item, but it refers to 13 separate items, but there's only one. Under employment law, we've got 2 items. Under our other laws and regulations update, 2 items. Tax update, we've got 12 in terms of guides and stuff that were issued, as well as 10 court cases, all of them high court cases. So there is a summary that I will put in the webinar material for you. Right, otherwise you'll have the court case files. Under regulator news, we've got 10 items there. So there's quite a lot happening on the regulator front. And then under general announcements, I found 2 very interesting articles dealing with the fact that people still are working from home. Some people I know have even closed down their offices, and it does get difficult managing your teams from home and from different locations. So there's just 2 very interesting articles that I found there. All right. So let's get straight stuck into our accounting update for this month. On the IFRS news summary, there really isn't anything new. In terms of the IFRS news summary, as far as this month is concerned, there was really only a bunch of items that said about webinars that will be presented, but it's all on discussion papers, right? So I wanted to wait. I don't know if anybody wants to be involved on the discussion paper sides, but it's yeah, that's basically it. All right, so there's agenda decisions that were published, and then it's about looking at applying IFRS standards, just the impact of COVID 2020. There was the same overview, but I think we've already found the majority of documents there, and I have given you that newsletter, that article for applying IFRS standards in 2020 with the impact of COVID-19. That's our separate topic, as you can see there. Right. So the second topic that talks about applying the IFRS standards was written by one of the members of the IASB, and in there they provide an overview of the key financial reporting considerations that'll be or that could be on the minds of preparers, auditors, investors, and regulators as they tackle the complexities that are associated with COVID-19. Right. So it really does become important when we look at it from this point of view to say, how when we apply the IFRS standards this year, how do we reflect the impact? We've looked at, if you look at my previous months for MCLU, there's been topics that I've included on where to disclose the impact of COVID-19, where to disclose it in the financials. When there are costs, do you disclose it in the income statement or in the notes? Where does it get disclosed? So there are a lot of documents available. I think if you go back as far as July, when we started speaking about disclosure and COVID-19. All right. But the panel basically looked at all of these items because the users of the financial statements expect companies to now base their estimates in the financial statements on assumptions that are consistent with their expectations, right? Their expectations of the business's performance and the entire operating environment at the reporting date. Now, the operating environment at the reporting date might be slightly skewed because we've got COVID and we had the lockdown looming. And as a post-balance sheets event, we definitely had the lockdown. And then we've got all of these items affecting going concern. All right. So there was quite a couple of items that we really needed to consider. Now, the assumptions that should be developed should be using reasonable and supportable information that's available to management.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.